Hey, Merry Christmas, 'tis the season. You can see my eyes are red. I haven't been doing drugs. I was actually sending a message to a friend here and I got a little choked up. I'll crack a joke. Speaking of drugs, I'll crack a joke real quick. These aren't these are just Harbor Freight earmuffs. They cancel sound. And I got this is my cheapo double decker. I actually have earplugs in. And this is over the weekend. My brother-in-law was visiting us, and he's a falconer. He's licensed and everything, and he asked if he could bring one of his raptors over, and I said, yeah, sure. So he did, and man, this thing, it's a peregrine falcon. This thing was flying down in the field next to us. He was just training it or exercising it or whatever that is. But man, that thing just zips. It's so fast. And I was just thinking, I was watching this and just thoughts are streaming across my mind about all the imagery of eagles in the scriptures and angels. And God's promises, what he has ordained cannot be stopped. And this eagle, or falcon, I guess, when it comes flying down, and I'm talking the length of a football field, this thing is like a rocket coming down and boom, hits the target. And it's like a laser guided bomb. But to calm down the eagle, because they have this heightened awareness, they could see so much. And it's just constantly looking around. And so he's got this goofy looking hood with a little tassel on the top. It's so funny looking. He puts on the falcon to calm it down. This is like my little hood. And I put these on so I can focus a little better. But half the time when you see me, I'm wearing my cordless earphones. They're not actually on. It's just it's kind of like a psychosomatic thing that I'm working now, and this is my focus. Anyway, hope you don't mind me diverting off of that to just lighten the mood a little bit, because what I want to say is actually super serious. Behind me, I've got the recent book here, and I've been cranking away on it this year. That we're closing out here, 2024, this has been my main focus. And I was working on a couple of other books, and the Lord gave me the signal to double down on this, like that eagle coming in. And I have been. And I go through these, it's like digging a trench. There's some days where you got the pickaxe and you're wailing away and you're moving lots of dirt. And there are some days where you just hit that as hard as you can. And at the end of the day, you're like, has the needle even moved? And I feel this urgency all the time. I get these messages from people that say, from reading something or hearing something I said, they say, if I had just known this a couple of years ago, it would have saved me so much suffering, or wasted time, or wasted money, or help me have so much of a better marriage, or find somebody better, or whatever the case may be. And I hear their voices like it's like a Christmas carol, that story, and it's like the ghost of whatever passed. And I just can't help but hear their voices as I write these things. And I feel the urgency to get this, because I feel like the world is changing so quickly that we're just constantly behind the time. And I look up at the clock every day and it's 2:30 in the morning. And I think I've got a whole day. I'm going to move the needle. And I look up again and it's 10:30. And I look up again and it's 2:30, and it doesn't matter what I've gotten done. All I can see is what has yet to be done. And I'm not overwhelmed by that, but I am constantly pushing myself harder, because I understand why these things are needed better than anyone. I understand why they're needed. And anyway, it wears on you. It wears on you when, I'll feel like I'm in kind of a sprint. where things are lining up and I'm finding the right words to say, and I can see the things and I can get my mind to keep working on it, and not just sort of float apart like a kidney that's been shot by a bullet. I don't know if you've ever seen this. If you're a hunter, and when you hit an organ with a big bullet, it just sort of disintegrates. There's nothing there, and sometimes that's what my brain is as I'm pounding through all this. But I feel like I connect, and then I come back, and I feel so satisfied with that. And I come back the next day and I reread the section, and I'm like, this is garbage. And sometimes I'll say it out loud. This is garbage. It's not good enough, and it's not good enough to reflect the goodness of God that He has shown me. It has to be better. And I work and I work and I work to get it better. And right now, this book, I think it started out at like 600 pages, 700 pages of notes, and I've got it down to like 270. But I can make it better. It's got to be better than it is. And I'm working through that now. I'm way, way behind what I wanted it to be, and that's the story of my life. It's always that way. But it's such a weird thing. It's like a different life. It's like my life's become this weird dream or something. And I feel like I'm just in a cave, and I'm crawling through this little chute that's just big enough for my body on my face, crawling on my hands and knees and my face, just sliding forward, and it's covered in glass shards. And I get out, and all I can do is bring out one little piece. It's a cave full of treasure, and I can just bring out one tiny piece at a time. And I just put it out there for people to see, and then the people that will react to that do, and then I immediately just go back, no breaks. I go back to get another one. And that wears on you. But I just keep responding to the wear by injecting more. Do more. Keep going. Keep going. And honestly, I don't have enough time to think about how crazy all of this is to just sort of, well, if you know my story, be on this crazy path, and to not worry about what happens next, just to be doing. I have my orders, and I just do them. And I don't, I was going to say, I know God will take care of me. I don't care if He does or He doesn't. I trust Him, of course, but we're past that now, and it's just going to happen no matter what it costs, what it takes. It's just going to happen. So that's the backdrop. That's not what I wanted to talk about. But in the past week, I've gotten a few letters, transmissions. One was a bank wire where people have sent me amounts of money. And I look at that, and a lot of times God shows me what that cost. Through discernment, spiritual discernment, He shows me what that costs. But often the way it comes is different. This whole week, it's been so interesting because when I open the letter or get the message or whatever, I hear Him. What He says is, I have not forgotten you. And so this is a long form way of me saying thank you, but also, and I don't want to take away from that, thank you. And also, I hope you feel that too, that you're a part of that you're being a conduit in sending that message. And we are not forgotten. When we dedicate our lives to the Lord, which is the most sensible thing that anyone could ever do. It's just us being unworthy, unprofitable servants. Of course we would do that. Why wouldn't you? It's the least we could do. We become his responsibility. You see, when you're a slave, you become the responsibility of your master. And typically that's not something you should do, right? And who wants to be a slave? When it comes to God, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than to fully submit to him, and whatever that means for your situation, your particulars. And to let go of the fear. What will happen if you do that? Well, whatever happens, it's the best that could happen. Because you can't have someone better taking care of you than God. We should trust him in all things and look to him and not fear. Look to him in all things. Do what he would do in every situation. And so I'm going to keep pushing and do my best to provide you with the value that I can, that the Lord gives me the ability to. And I'm very grateful for all those who have been in a place where they can help. Thank you. And I'm grateful for all those who would, if they could. Thank you. And I'm grateful for all those who sincerely feel like they shouldn't. Always do what you believe God would do in your place. Always. Merry Christmas. Thank you.